When I found my wife with her lover in our house, my heart broke. But I didn't break. I'm Jason Clark, and this is the story of how I uncovered their lies and took revenge in a way they will never forget. This is not just a betrayal. This is a game where I changed the rules. My name is Jason Clark, 38, an IT specialist living in Seattle's Willow Crest, a quiet suburban neighborhood where everyone smiles but keeps their secrets close. My wife, Emily, and I moved here 2 years ago, chasing the dream of a perfect life. 12 years of marriage, plans for a kid, a house with a view of cedar trees. It felt solid. Until last night, when it all came crashing down. I was in the kitchen, prepping dinner, when Emily's phone buzzed on the counter. She was in the shower, and I wouldn't have looked, but it kept vibrating insistent. A name flashed on the screen, Kevin Brown, our neighbor. The message preview read, "Tonight? He's gone." My stomach twisted. Emily's phone was locked, but her passcode was our wedding date. Ironic, right? I typed it in, hands shaking, and what I found gutted me. 6 months of texts. Secret meetups when I was on business trips. Jokes about how easy it was to fool me. Kevin, the charming lawyer next door, and Emily, my wife, had been carrying on right under my nose. One message burned into my brain. "Your place tonight? Jason's in Portland. They've been using our house. Our bed." I stood there, staring at the screen, the knife I'd been chopping vegetables with still in my hand. The world felt like it was collapsing, but something else stirred inside me. Anger, sharp and cold. I wasn't going to cry. I was going to act. I put the phone back exactly where it was and forced myself to breathe. Emily came downstairs, hair wet, smiling like nothing was wrong. "Smells good," she said, pecking my cheek. I nodded, playing along, but every word she spoke felt like a blade. That night, I barely slept, replaying their messages in my head. By morning, I made a decision. They'd pay for this, but I'd do it smart. No screaming, no violence. Just the truth, laid bare for everyone to see. I called in sick to work and met my sister, Lisa, at a coffee shop downtown. "Emily's cheating with Kevin Brown," I said, sliding my phone across the table with screenshots of their texts. Lisa's eyes widened, then narrowed. "That snake," she hissed. "What's the plan?" I leaned forward, voice low. "We gather proof, texts, calls, whatever else I can find. Then we expose them, not just to their spouses, but to everyone." Lisa grinned. "You're scary when you're pissed, Jason." Back home, I dug deeper. I downloaded a call tracking app and synced it to Emily's phone while she was at yoga. The logs confirmed it. Late-night calls to Kevin, some lasting over an hour. I found a photo on her cloud drive. Emily in a restaurant she'd never mentioned, time-stamped when I was at a conference. Worse, I recognized our bedroom in the background of one of her selfies, taken during a weekend I was away. The betrayal wasn't just emotional. It was physical in our own space. My hands clenched, but I stayed focused. Rage wouldn't win this. Strategy would. I texted Lisa, "Meet me tonight. We need to plan the next step." She replied instantly, "I'm in. Let's burn their world down, legally." I allowed myself a small, bitter smile. Emily and Kevin thought they were clever. They had no idea who they'd underestimated. I sat in my car outside our Willow Crest house, the engine off, the silence heavy. It was Friday morning, 24 hours since I discovered Emily's affair with Kevin Brown. The shock hadn't faded, but it had hardened into something sharper, resolve. I wasn't just going to expose them. I was going to make sure they felt the weight of their betrayal. My sister Lisa was already on board, and now it was time to build an airtight plan. I needed more than screenshots. I needed undeniable proof, and I needed it fast. Lisa met me at a diner across town, far from prying neighborhood eyes. "You look like you haven't slept," she said, sliding into the booth with 2 coffees. "I haven't," I admitted, pulling out my laptop. I showed her what I'd found overnight. More texts, call logs, and a hotel receipt buried in Emily's email trash folder. The receipt was from a boutique hotel downtown, dated last month when I was at a conference in San Francisco. "They're not even careful," Lisa muttered, shaking her head. "Arrogant idiots." "That's our advantage," I said. "They think they're untouchable. We're going to use that." I outlined the plan. Gather hard evidence, confront them publicly, and make sure Kevin's wife, Sophia, knew everything. Lisa raised an eyebrow. "You sure Sophia's not in on it? Covering for him?" I hesitated. It was a risk, but my gut told me Sophia was as clueless as I'd been. "She's our next step," I decided. "If she's suspicious, she'll be an ally. If not, we pivot." That afternoon, I knocked on Sophia's door. She answered, looking drained, her dark hair pulled back in a messy bun. Jason? Everything okay? Her voice was cautious, like she sensed trouble. I didn't waste time. I know about Kevin and Emily. They've been having an affair for 6 months. Her face froze, then crumpled. I suspected something, she whispered, stepping aside to let me in. He's been working late too often. I found a receipt for wine I never drank. She showed me a crumpled slip from a bar I recognized from Emily's photos. It was enough to confirm she wasn't complicit. She was another victim. I'm sorry, I said, meaning it. But we can stop them. Together. Sophia's eyes hardened. What do you need? We spent an hour strategizing. She noticed Kevin's car parked at a hotel when he claimed to be at the office. I suggested a private investigator, but Sophia shook her head. I can't afford that, but I can get you his credit card statements. She hesitated, then added, and I know his phone passcode. I nodded, impressed by her resolve. Let's do this. By evening, Sophia texted me scans of Kevin's statements. Charges at the same downtown hotel, multiple dates. I cross-referenced them with Emily's call logs. Every date matched a late-night call between them. Lisa, meanwhile, had been digging online. She found Kevin's public calendar on his law firm's site, listing client meetings that aligned with the hotel dates. He's not even creative, she scoffed over the phone. We need more, though. Something visual. I agreed. Screenshots and receipts were damning, but a video would be undeniable. Sophia came through again, suggesting we check security footage from the hotel. I know the manager, she said. He owes me a favor. By Saturday morning, we had a grainy clip from the hotel lobby. Kevin and Emily, arm in arm, laughing as they headed to the elevator. My stomach churned, but I saved the file. This was the nail in their coffin. Lisa and I met again that night, mapping out the confrontation. We hit them tomorrow, I said. Sophie is hosting a neighborhood barbecue. Kevin thinks he's sneaking off with Emily after. We'll deliver their stuff, clothes, personal items, right to Sophia's doorstep in front of everyone. Lisa grinned. Bold. I like it. But what if Kevin's there early? I smirked. Then he gets to explain himself to the whole block. I spent the rest of the night packing Emily's things, her favorite dresses, the necklace I'd given her for our 10th anniversary, even her yoga mat. Each item felt like a betrayal I was reclaiming. I added Kevin's watch, which I'd found in our bedroom drawer, and a photo of them I'd pulled from Emily's cloud. Lisa helped, her anger matching mine. They thought they could play you, she said, zipping up a suitcase. Big mistake. As I loaded the bags into my car, my phone buzzed. Emily, home late tonight. Client dinner. I didn't reply. I knew she was with Kevin, probably at that damn hotel. The lie only fueled me. Tomorrow, they'd face the truth, and I'd make sure it hurt. The sun was setting over Willow Crest, casting long shadows across the manicured lawns. It was Saturday evening, and my plan to expose Emily and Kevin was moving faster than I'd expected. In the past 48 hours, I'd gone from a blindsided husband to a man on a mission. With my sister Lisa, and now Sophia, Kevin's wife, as allies, I had enough evidence to bury them. Texts, call logs, hotel receipts, and a damning video of them sneaking into a downtown Seattle hotel. But I wasn't done yet. I needed this to hit hard, and Sophia's unexpected fire was about to make that happen. I sat in Sophia's living room, the air thick with tension. She just handed me Kevin's credit card statements, revealing more charges, flowers, dinners, even a weekend trip to the coast when I was at a tech summit. He told me it was a work retreat, Sophia said, her voice tight. I believed him. Her hands shook as she scrolled through her phone, showing me a photo of Kevin at a beachfront bar, time-stamped the same weekend Emily claimed she was visiting her mom. The pieces were falling into place, and they painted a picture uglier than I'd imagined. I want to confront them tomorrow, I said. At your barbecue. Everyone will be there, neighbors, friends. We dropped the evidence in front of them all. Sophia hesitated, her eyes flicking to a framed photo of her and Kevin on their wedding day. For a moment, I thought she might back out. Then she nodded. They don't get to walk away clean, but we need something bigger, something they can't deny. That's when Sophia dropped a bombshell. Kevin keeps a burner phone, she said. I found it in his gym bag last month, but didn't check it. I was too scared. My pulse quickened. A burner phone could be a gold mine. Unfiltered, raw proof of their affair. Can you get it? I asked. She nodded, her jaw set. He's at the office until late. I'll grab it tonight. Lisa, who'd been quietly listening, leaned forward. If we get that phone, We've got them dead to rights. But we need to be careful. If Kevin suspects anything, he'll cover his tracks. I agreed. Kevin was a lawyer. He knew how to spin a story. We had to stay one step ahead. Sophia, get the phone. Lisa, cross-check the hotel footage with Kevin's calendar. I'll dig into Emily's cloud for anything else. Photos, emails, whatever. That night, Sophia texted me a photo of the burner phone screen. It was a cheap flip phone, but the messages were explicit. Plans for meetups, pet names, even a discussion about when Jason's out of town next. One text from Emily read, "Your place is safer." Sophia's clueless. I clenched my phone so hard I thought it might crack. They'd been in Sophia's house too. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a mockery of both our lives. By midnight, Lisa had confirmed the hotel footage aligned with Kevin's client meetings. I found another photo in Emily's cloud, a selfie of her and Kevin in our backyard, timestamped during my last trip to Portland. The audacity made my blood boil. They weren't just sneaking around. They were flaunting it in the spaces we'd built our lives in. I forwarded everything to Sophia, who replied, "I'm ready. Let's end this." Sunday morning, Sophia called. I got the burner phone, and I invited half the neighborhood to the barbecue. Kevin thinks it's just a casual thing. Emily's coming to help set up. Her voice was steady now. No trace of the shaken woman I'd met yesterday. "Perfect," I said. "We'll bring their stuff. Suitcases packed with their clothes, the photo, everything. We drop it on your doorstep when the crowd's there." Lisa chimed in over speakerphone. "And I've got a friend who can project that hotel video onto your garage door." Maximum impact. The plan was bold, but a new worry gnawed at me. What if Kevin showed up early? Or worse, what if he'd already sensed something was off? I checked the call tracking app I'd installed on Emily's phone. She called Kevin twice that morning, short calls, likely coordinating their next lie. I texted Sophia, "Keep Kevin distracted. Tell him you need him home by noon for the barbecue." She replied, "Done. He thinks I'm clueless. Let's use that." As I packed Emily's things, her dresses, her jewelry, the scarf she wore on our last anniversary, I felt a strange calm. Each item was a reminder of the life we'd built, now tainted. Lisa helped, tossing Kevin's watch and a pair of his cufflinks into a bag. "You sure about this, Jason?" she asked, zipping up the last suitcase. "Once we do this, there's no going back." I looked at her, my voice firm. They made their choice. Now they faced the consequences. By noon, we were ready. The suitcases were in my car, the video file loaded on Lisa's laptop, and Sophia was setting up the barbecue, playing the part of the oblivious wife. My phone buzzed, Emily texting at Sophia's helping out. "See you tonight?" I didn't reply. Instead, I looked at Lisa. "Let's go." As we drove to Sophia's, my heart pounded, but my hands were steady. Emily and Kevin thought they'd played us for fools. Today, they'd learned just how wrong they were. The sun blazed over Willow Crest, the air thick with the smell of charcoal and summer grass. It was Sunday afternoon, and Sophia's backyard barbecue was in full swing. Neighbors chatted over burgers, kids ran through sprinklers, and music drifted from a Bluetooth speaker. To anyone watching, it was a perfect suburban day. But I knew better. Today, Emily and Kevin's lies would unravel in front of everyone. My sister Lisa sat beside me in my car, parked across from Sophia's house, the suitcases packed with Emily's and Kevin's things in the trunk. My phone buzzed with a text from Sophia. "Asterisk, they're here. Kevin's playing host. Emily's in the kitchen. Now or never." Asterisk. I took a deep breath, my pulse hammering. The evidence was ironclad. Texts, call logs, hotel receipts, a burner phone, and a damning hotel video. Sophia had set the stage, inviting half the neighborhood to ensure maximum exposure. Lisa's friend, Ryan, was ready to project the video onto Sophia's garage door. This wasn't just about confronting them. It was about making sure they couldn't lie their way out. "Let's do this," I said, stepping out of the car. Lisa grabbed the laptop, and we hauled the suitcases across the street. My hands were steady, but my chest felt tight, like I was walking into a storm. As we reached Sophia's driveway, she met us at the gate, her face pale but resolute. "They're clueless," she whispered. "Kevin's charming the neighbors, and Emily's acting like she's my best friend." Her voice dripped with disgust. I nodded. "Stick to the plan. You call them out front when we're ready." Sophia returned to the backyard, and Lisa set up the projector, angling it at the garage. I rolled the suitcases to the front porch, each one packed with Emily's clothes, Kevin's watch, and a framed photo of them I'd found in her cloud. Proof of their betrayal. Neighbors started to notice, their conversations quieting as they glanced our way. Good. I want an audience. Sophia's voice rang out from the backyard. Kevin, Emily, can you come to front for a sec? We need help with something. Moments later, Emily appeared, wiping her hands on a dish towel, her smile faltering when she saw me. Kevin followed, his lawyer charm in full force until he spotted the suitcases. His face froze. Jason, what's going on? Emily asked, her voice too high, too forced. I didn't answer. Instead, I opened a largest suitcase, revealing Emily's dresses and Kevin's cufflinks. I brought your things, I said loudly, making sure the neighbors heard. Since you two spend so much time together, I figured you'd need them here. Emily's eyes widened, her hand flying to her mouth. Kevin stepped forward, his voice low. Jason, let's talk privately. No, I said, my voice cutting through the murmurs of the crowd. You don't get to hide anymore. I nodded to Lisa, who hit play on the laptop. The hotel video flickered to life on the garage door, Kevin and Emily laughing as they entered the elevator, arms around each other. Gasps rippled through the neighbors. Emily's face turned ashen. That's not, she started, but Sophia cut her off. Don't lie, Sophia snapped, stepping forward with Kevin's burner phone in her hand. I found this. Your texts, your plans, your jokes about how clueless we were. She tossed the phone at Kevin's feet. He didn't move, his eyes darting to the crowd, searching for an escape. The neighbors were silent now, phones out, recording the chaos. I pulled out my own phone, showing screenshots of their texts. 6 months, I said. You used our house, our bed, while I was working to build a life for us. Emily's voice cracked. Jason, please, it was a mistake. Kevin tried to back her up. Sophia, it didn't mean anything. The crowd murmured, some shaking their heads. I laughed bitter and loud. A mistake? For 6 months? You planned trips, laughed at us, lied to our faces. I turned to the neighbors. They thought we wouldn't find out. They were wrong. Sophia stepped beside me, her voice steady. Kevin, I'm done. Take your things and go. She pointed to the suitcases. Emily lunged for the burner phone, but Lisa blocked her. Don't even try, Lisa said, her tone ice cold. A neighbor, Mrs. Carter, spoke up. Is this true, Emily? You did this in their homes. The crowd's judgment was palpable, their whispers turning to accusations. Kevin's charm crumbled. Sophia, let's talk inside, he pleaded, but she shook her head. You humiliated me. Now everyone knows who you really are. Emily was crying now, mascara streaking her face. Jason, I'm sorry, she sobbed. I looked at her, the woman I'd loved for 12 years, and felt nothing but disgust. Save it, I said. My lawyer's waiting. As the video looped, neighbors began to disperse, whispering about the scandal. Kevin grabbed a suitcase, his face red with shame, and stormed to his car. Emily hesitated, then followed, clutching her bag. The crowd parted, their eyes heavy with judgment. Sophia and I stood side by side, watching them go. For the first time in days, I felt lighter, not healed but unburdened. The truth was out, and they'd faced the consequences. The dust settled slowly in Willow Crest after the barbecue showdown. The neighborhood buzzed with whispers for days, neighbors exchanging shocked glances over mailboxes, their phones still holding videos of Emily and Kevin's public humiliation. I stood on my front porch that Sunday evening, watching the last of the barbecue guests leave Sophia's house across the street. The suitcases were gone. Kevin had grabbed his, Emily hers, and they'd driven off separately, tails between their legs. Sophia stood alone in her driveway, her shoulders squared despite the weight of betrayal. I felt a strange kinship with her. We'd both been blindsided, but we'd fought back. The next morning, I met with my lawyer, Rachel, a no-nonsense woman who'd handled tech contracts for my company. I handed her everything. Screenshots, call logs, the burner phone texts, the hotel video. This is a slam dunk, she said, scanning the evidence. You want a divorce, clean and fast. I nodded, and I want our accounts frozen. She doesn't get a dime until we settle. Rachel's eyes glinted with approval. Done. I'll have papers ready by tomorrow. I left her office feeling lighter, like I'd shed a layer of the pain that had choked me since Thursday. Sophia was moving just as fast. By Tuesday, she'd kicked Kevin out and listed their house for sale. She texted me. Astra's found a lawyer. Filing for divorce. Thanks for standing with me. Asterisk, I replied. We're in this together, and we were. Over coffee that week, she told me how Kevin had begged for forgiveness, claiming it was just a fling. She'd laughed in his face. He thought I'd crumble, she said, stirring her latte. He forgot who I am. I admired her strength. It mirrored the fire growing in me. The fallout hit Emily and Kevin hard. Emily tried texting me, a string of apologies and pleas to talk. Asterisk, I messed up, Jason. Can we fix this? Asterisk, I deleted every message without responding. Her betrayal wasn't a mistake. It was a choice, repeated for 6 months. Kevin's law firm dropped him after the video went viral on the neighborhood social media group. Clients didn't want a scandal guy handling their cases. I heard he'd moved to a cheap apartment downtown, his career in tatters. Emily, meanwhile, slunk back to her parents' place in Oregon, her reputation shredded. I decided to sell our house. Every room held memories of Emily's lies. The kitchen where she'd kiss me while texting Kevin, the bedroom they'd defiled. I called a realtor and put it on the market within a week. The process was cathartic, like erasing their stain from my life. Lisa helped me pack, her humor keeping me grounded. You're dodging a bullet, she said, taping up a box. Imagine if you hadn't checked her phone. I shuddered at the thought. Blind trust had nearly destroyed me. Sophia and I started meeting regularly. Walks in the park, dinners at quiet restaurants. We didn't talk about romance. We were too raw for that. But we understood each other's pain in a way no one else could. One evening, over pizza, she asked, "Do you ever wonder if we missed signs? If we could have stopped this?" I thought about it, then shook my head. Their choices weren't about us. They lacked something, honesty, loyalty. We didn't. She nodded, a small smile breaking through. You're right. We're better than that. 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. Emily didn't fight it. The evidence was too damning. I kept most of our assets, including the proceeds from the house sale. I moved to a sleek apartment in downtown Seattle, closer to work, with a view of the Sound that felt like a fresh start. Sophia sold her house and rented a place nearby. We become friends, maybe something more in time, but for now, we were two people rebuilding, step by step. One night, as we sat on my balcony watching the city lights, Sophia said, "I'm thinking of a trip. Maybe Colorado, see the mountains. Clear my head." She paused, then added, "You should come. As friends. Separate rooms." I laughed, the first real laugh in months. "I could use some perspective," I said. "Count me in." 6 months after that fateful Thursday, I realized I'd gone days without thinking of Emily. The pain was still there, a dull ache, but it no longer defined me. I was working on a new project at my tech firm, mentoring a junior developer and planning that Colorado trip with Sophia. Emily sent one last email, begging for a coffee, to explain. I forwarded it to spam and felt nothing. Kevin was a ghost, his name fading from conversations. Willowcrest had moved on to new gossip. I stood in my apartment, looking out at the water, and felt a quiet strength. I'd survived the worst betrayal I could imagine, not by sinking to their level, but by rising above it. My revenge wasn't the confrontation, though that it felt good. It was this, living well, free of their lies, building a life they could never touch. I texted Lisa, Asterisk Colorado next month with Sophia. As friends. Asterisk, her reply was instant. Asterisk for now, huh? Proud of you, bro. Asterisk, I smiled, closed the curtains, and turned toward whatever came next.